Alright, so here we've got the DC04, which has a US motor installed in it, but does not have a US cord, so we won't need any sort of voltage transformer, but we will need a plug adapter. I bought this one at Walmart. Let's hope it doesn't suck. I mean, it came from Walmart, so it might. Right off the bat, I hate this packaging. Way too sharp. But it looks like we've got these things we can grab and pop out a US plug, and then we can plug a UK plug right in, just like that. You can see right there. Plug that on the wall, plug this in right there. Pretty bulky, but should hopefully do the trick. So let's find out if it did. Alright, let's give this a shot. Ah, yeah! Alright, now we're cooking. Alright, we'll move this tripod out of the way, since we're not going to need it. Now, I didn't clean my living room very effectively during this because I was kind of in a rush. But, yeah, it works. Not bad at all. But this thing has a little bit of a smell. It's not a terrible smell, but it has a bit of a smell. So we'll try to remedy that. I suppose if I wanted to be proper and have this be all matching, I would use Dyson Zorb, which I do have, but I don't know, kind of an acquired smell. Then again, I just realized I sprinkled down the scent beads that I meant to throw away because I didn't like the smell of them. So, oh well. We'll still give this a shot. So, $12 later, after an inexpensive plug adapter, I gotta say, whoa, what is all that? Is that sand? There is no way an old clutched Dyson got this much. That is no way. I literally vacuumed yesterday with the Riccar Superlight. Are you kidding me? What? Look at all that. Wow, I'm beyond impressed. I am beyond impressed. I did not expect it to get that much. I mean, is it fair to say the UK Dysons clean better than the US ones? I mean, I guess I'd have to say that, because even with the US motor, so you can't make the argument of, oh, well, it's because the motor's more powerful. With the US motor in it, it still, clearly the design of the DC04, be it the base plate, be it the dual cyclonic cassette, whatever the reason is, this seems to perform miles better than a DC07 or DC14. So, and then obviously also a DC33. So out of all the clutch Dysons, the DC04 apparently is the best. Is it weird that this is kind of like now my favorite clutch Dyson? Like, maybe just because it reminds me so much of the Phantoms? And not a speck on that filter. Not a speck. Wow. I mean, again, it's Dyson, so you kind of expect that with the root cyclone machines, but I wasn't aware the dual cyclonic machines were also that great at filtering. And this filter seems a little loose, but I think that's by design. Obviously, don't like this clip mechanism. That's much better on the DC14. And I do like how this reminds me of the DC14, which is my favorite Dyson. It's not the Dyson I use, obviously. It's not the best cleaning Dyson, but in terms of nostalgia and, you know, that sort of stuff, the DC14 is my favorite Dyson. So I wish I could pop this open, but I really don't want to break it. But obviously this creaks and makes a lot of interesting noises, which I'm not, which I'm kind of skeptical on. You can also see the difference in fading, how this part's not faded, and then right next to it you can see it's very faded. But the good news is it doesn't seem brittle at all. It seems still reasonably strong. So given the fact that I baby all my machines, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, there is a certain YouTuber and friend of mine that you may be familiar with who has a lot of these and tends to abuse them and vacuum up a lot of gritty dirt at once, and I don't know, I can't do it. The mess test you saw the other day, I don't think I'm going to do it with this machine. Well, then again, that type of mess test isn't a big deal. So it was really just ramen noodles mixed with like breakfast cereal and, you know, stuff like that, like all crushed up. But yeah, so I'm not going to run this on the bare floor yet because, again, a lot of those wheels are seized up on the bottom. So now you can buy replacement sets of wheels and pop them out and replace them without having to replace the base plate. So I'm probably going to do that at some point. I was debating on just replacing the cord entirely, but honestly, you know, it's working. So I don't really, you know, I don't see much of a reason to. And I'm not super picky about this thing having the original cord on it, so it's not that. So I suppose if someone really wanted me to sell them a UK cord, I suppose I could rip it off of this and install a US cord. Of course, like with these brush rollers, you know, my relatively long hair does tend to tangle on these, although the hair wrap isn't that bad. It's perfectly tolerable considering, you know, I vacuum my entire living room. So it's the kind of thing where I could definitely daily drive this machine and then just, you know, every time I empty the bin, just, you know, clean off the brush roll. But yeah, these front wheels are all seized up. This one has a little bit of movement, but these two are seized up, and then this one's fine. Yeah, so these two are fine. These two are seized up, and this one's like halfway. It's really rough, but it does spin if you force it, but it's borderline seized. But, you know, not a big deal. Of course, this is all gouged to shit. Whoever had this previously didn't take very good care of it. Whoever in the UK originally had this. I wonder if whoever had this originally ever thought that it would end up in the hands of now, what, I think 2 or 3 US collectors at this point. And, yeah. So yeah, that's the DC04 Absolute Plus. I'm very happy with this. Not gonna lie, I really don't want to stop using it. Even though this is really a collector's piece, like, do I dare daily drive this thing? I don't know about that, but I suppose we could, you know, add a little treat to the end of this and vacuum another room that you don't see very often. All right. Of course, I get caught on the cord. All right. Of course, both the children are in here, so hopefully they don't mind, but they probably will. sorry, Rubes. I'm sorry, Rocco. I'm just vacuuming. You okay? Alright, let's see what the results are. Now, for the record, as I mentioned, yesterday I vacuumed the living room with the Ricard Superlight, and I actually moved everything out of the way and vacuumed, so there's even stuff that this didn't get to that the Ricard did in terms of the carpet. And then, also, in this bedroom, 3 days ago, I believe, I vacuumed with the Phantom Thunder, and then the day before yesterday, so I guess 2 days ago, it was either 2 days ago or yesterday. I think it was 2 days ago. I vacuumed with the V11. The V11 Tort Drive with the motor bar cleaner head from the V8 on it. So 2 decent machines, for sure. And I remember being impressed with what the V11 was pulling up, considering it's a cordless. But, oh my god, look at that. I was not expecting this at all. I was expecting this to be on par with the DC07 and DC14, and I expected to be just mildly amused of the fact that this is a machine that we didn't get in the States. But I figured, it'd be, just decent, like it'd get a little bit of stuff, but I figured it wouldn't be too crazy. But look at how much grit and sand and just fine dust And of course, a couple good clobs of hair. Of course, now that I've vacuumed out the scent beads, the bad smell is gone. Which I believe that bad smell is likely emanating from the cyclone, because the filter, at least the pre-motor filter, looks great. I don't know. Maybe it could be coming from the HEPA filter. I don't know. But yeah, that is... wow. Look at that. Am I, like, is this actually not impressive and I'm just, like, gushing over this thing because it's unique, or are these results actually, like, decent? Because I don't know about you, but I'm, like, relatively happy with this. But then again, you know, it's an old clutch Dyson, so I kind of expected, my expectations were very low. But I think you know, which is weird because normally a lot of UK uprights tend to perform worse than their American counterparts. Like, if you've seen, like, the Musu machine I have, which is essentially like a British Hoover, and that thing is a terrible cleaner. And I've seen a lot of the Vax and a lot of the Goblin machines that we see in the UK, and they just seem to just not perform at all. Whereas, you know, that's kind of a benefit. Was for a while I thought that was a benefit to machines here in the States. Like, yeah, our cheap machines might not filter well, but a lot of them will still clean. A lot of the Bissells and the Hoovers, and even, you know, now that Dirt Devils updated their lineup, even the Dirt Devils now clean fairly well. You know, like, it's enough to get the job done for most types of carpet. But this, like, wow, I'm impressed. I don't know if it's because of the smaller opening on the base plate, which allows a better seal. I don't know if it's because, you know, maybe the clutch on this is actually in somewhat tolerable shape, whereas the ones on all my other DC07s and DC14s are completely shot, and even though I have like 9 brand new clutches, I've been too lazy to replace it in any of them, because every time I replace a clutch I end up slipping and punching myself in the face. Or it also could be a combination of all those factors. I don't know. It could also be the dual cyclonic system. Maybe this kind of boils into the hypothesis I have as to why Phantoms clean so well, because this air path is much less restrictive and there's much more airflow to actually go around. But unlike the Phantoms, this actually has proper pre-motor and post-motor filtration setups, so that kind of makes it seal better and therefore clean better. Then again, I mean, I was about to say, I still think a Phantom cleans better than this, but I gotta admit, that's a lot closer to the performance of a Phantom than what I'd expect. I don't know. This is interesting. I'm learning a lot today, for sure. But anyways, this is my living room vacuuming video, and also bedroom vacuuming video, which you don't see very often on this channel, with the DC04 Absolute Plus, modded with a US motor, but not modded with a US plug, but with an adapter. So now I can actually use it. Rocco, what are you doing? Rocco, what? Anyways, this was Intelitech Studios, and I'm now signing, or I should say, yeah, this was Intelitech Studios, and now I'm signing out. Rocco?